disconnect between what I believe the Clemson family should be and what I believe it is. I think it should be a community that grows, teaches, and learns as one. I think what it is a community that encourages inclusivity, but targets those with passions that match its own.
So I never really bought into the whole rah-rah, go Tigers, wear purple and orange everything kind of Clemson family that Clemson likes to advertise to its prospective students. But I did eventually find my family here. And I found that within the different organizations here at Clemson University, specifically the Asian Student Association, that community really allowed me to find a place where I didn't have to explain who I was and what I was, and I could really just be myself.
I think support at Clemson University really stems from minorities grouping together and creating clubs and organizations where people can feel accepted and supported. Coming to Clemson as a Hispanic, Pakistani Muslim minority, it was clubs like Luku, MSA, and Clemson Dholna that really made me feel like I belonged and made me feel accepted and supported.
So I think the first way that Clemson can do more to support minorities and minority organizations on campus is to do more to promote and to recognize those organizations. I feel like a lot of students don't know about these organizations or don't understand what they do, and I think that really stifles their mission of showcasing the diversity that Clemson has on its campus. And the second thing that I think Clemson can do to better support its minority students is to rely more on regional and national experts when it comes to diversity and race. I think it's really exhausting for especially the student leaders of minority groups on campus when the whole weight of their community is thrust upon their shoulders to represent them at a university-wide level.
Growing up, I feel like I've always had to completely separate being Asian and being American. But I'm not either or, I'm both. But especially in school, it's always been me using my American name. I always use English. We only talk about American culture because that's what everyone knows around me. So in school, I feel like I have to be my American self, even though I can never erase the fact that I'm Asian, because of course physically I look Asian, but it's always been American at school, Asian at home. So when I'm at home, I use my native language, I use a different name, of course culture is different, and because of this, it's always been hard to fully mold the two. But now I feel like I've gotten to the point where I'm trying to do this unapologetically, no matter if it is kind of uncomfortable. I feel like it kind of gets in the way at school because I'm still expected to use my American name and use English, but there's also other aspects where I can be my Asian self, and hopefully one day I can just be both at once.
When I was growing up, my parents wanted me to blend in with my peers, so I was never really encouraged to retain my native language very well. And since everyone around me spoke English, it didn't really motivate me to try and learn it even further than the basics. But now that I'm older, I wanted to try and embrace my cultural identity more through language, but it's been kind of difficult for me to try and start again because I'm afraid of pronouncing the words wrong, or people will judge me for not knowing my language in the first place. And because I don't speak my native language very well, I kind of feel disconnected from my family and culture in that sense. Because language is more than just a means of communication. To me, it's kind of like an initiation into a group. But since I've been at Clemson, I was able to find a bunch of different cultural organizations on campus, such as the Asian Student Association, that gave me a space to be able to connect with my peers through language and shared cultures and identities.
I would say to try to expose yourself in a situation in which you are. I think experiencing it once can put you in someone else's shoes, and you'll get a sense of what it's like to be in the racial or ethnic minority.